What's up, everyone? This is Goldilocks, former TNA backstage interviewer, manager, and you're listening to TNA Cross the Line podcast. Thanks for being here.
TNA Wrestling, Cross the Line.
And we're back with episode 300 of the TNA Cross the Line podcast. I am Bob Colling Jr., and with me, as always, is Dallas Gridley. And Dallas, we are now just 2 weeks away from Slammiversary, where we will once again see a King of the Mountain match, and the qualifying matches continue, as we've already seen Kurt and AJ qualify, and we don't know who is qualifying in today's episode. So that is a mystery. But what is not a mystery is that Sonjay Dutt promised to debut a new character tonight. No idea what it could be, but that's really the only major tease, I think, coming into this episode, that Sonjay's going to have a new identity. And of course, whatever the qualifying match is. So, Dallas, we're only a few weeks away from Slammiversary. We have Team 3D and the Steiners going at it, and a whole lot of other stuff. Are you still excited for the anniversary show?
Wow, this is Slammiversary. 5 years. And you think I wouldn't be excited about this? Are you kidding? I have never been not excited about a monthly pay-per-view because they're always top-notch, except for maybe those couple that we didn't like.
Right.
But besides that, they've been pretty solid. Of course I'm pumped for Slammiversary. Now, I will give you a little tease, Bob. Some of the notes that we're going to talk about may affect some of the plans that we already know are in place for Slammiversary. We will get to that. It's quite an interesting situation. But I think what they're laying out in front of us, I'm feeling good about it.
Well, I'm interested what you mean by impact the plans that are already in place for Slammiversary. That must mean that some maybe people aren't going to be there.
That could definitely be it. But we'll get to that momentarily. Let's do a quick rundown of the card from last week. Then we'll talk some ratings, and then I'll lay it down on you. So on the May 31st, 2007 edition of Impact, Christopher Daniels and Rhino went to a no contest. And I don't even have a time for that one, but that happened. Then we saw Rhino defeat Homicide in 3 minutes. They went to no contest because it didn't actually even start, right?
For which one?
Christopher Daniels and Rhino, and then he got on the mic and said, "No, I actually want to fight someone," and that's why Homicide came out.
Oh, right, because Daniels got beat up by Sting. Yeah.
There we go. I knew there was something that I couldn't quite remember.
Yep.
But
yeah, Sting attacked him during his entrance or whatever.
Yes. Okay. So then Rhino defeated Homicide in 3 minutes. Chris Sabin defeated Kaz in 4 minutes, 35 seconds, and Raven was sitting in the perch with the rest of Serotonin, watching on. And then, as Bob already noted, AJ Styles qualified for the 2007 King of the Mountain match by defeating Tomko in 9 minutes, and that was originally scheduled to be Jeff Jarrett, but due to the death of his wife, Jill, he was unable to be at this taping, and really for this foreseeable future, which is understandable.
Yeah.
So,
I don't mean to cut you off, but I have been obviously reviewing 2008 Impacts, because for wrestling recaps, I like to do the written versions. And for where I'm at there, which I think is beginning the fall of 2008, the beginning of the fall. Jarrett has still not returned. So it looks like it is a substantial sabbatical, as it should be.
Whoa.
For Jarrett.
That's crazy though. I didn't know if I realized that's the case.
Yeah, at least I'm pretty sure that's the case. I'm not remembering. First of all, I have a really bad memory to begin with. So for where I'm at, I don't recall seeing him on any of the impacts. And certainly I don't remember seeing him as a potential like person on a pay-per-view or something. So
Right.
I could be wrong. But from what I can remember, he's not been back on television.
Gotcha.
They are certainly teasing him.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm
But
trying
he
to
hasn't
remember.
been seen.
I definitely have a note about Jarrett. I can't recall if it's on this episode or our next. So I guess stay tuned for that. I'm not sure where. Oh no, it's on today's episode. We'll be talking about it during Impact. I mean, it's pretty brief.
I'm
You
sure
know-
that he's like backstage. He's just
Yeah.
not on TV yet.
You know, we're talking about it. I'm just gonna tell you. Reports are that Jarrett has now totally immersed himself in wrestling. And Dave notes that I'd figured he'd either use it to avoid the pain, or the pain would take him over, and he'd take a while to get back in the business. So at least it's being reported that he's kind of using it to help him, which I can understand that, right?
Yeah, he's using it as a distraction. Yeah.
Right. But once again, that does not mean he's going on TV because he works backstage in a capacity. So it really doesn't mean we're necessarily going to see him anytime soon. But time will tell with that. Let me get you our ratings notes for that May 31st episode of Impact. It did a 0.92 rating and 1.2 million viewers. It only did a 0.54 in males 18 to 34, but a 0.98 in males 35 to 49. The segment by segment saw the show peak at a 0.96 with the Rhino homicide stuff with the LAX angle, which gained 65,000 viewers. Sabin and Kaz lost 78,000 viewers as they tore the house down because the guys are not pushed as a serious deal. Tom Cover Styles gained 39,000 viewers and finished at a 0.93. So, and I would say that Sabin and Kaz had a pretty dang good Impact match, so I don't disagree with what he said.
Well, and I agree with his statement too. They're not really presented in a serious manner. You know, I think when you
Absolutely.
see Sabin and Shelley trying to jump Bob Backlund in a park, and losing is probably not beneficial. And then you have Kaz doing a emo goth character that doesn't really seem to fit him. So
Right.
And that group always loses serotonin.
Of course.
So yeah, I can see how that could be the case.
Bob, my next note, I don't know if you want to actually start us off with. They did the house show in Puerto Rico. So do you want to run down that card? And then really the rest of my notes before the show are related to this house show event.
Yeah. So the house show here took place on June 3rd in San Juan, Puerto Rico. There's no way I can pronounce this arena. Alicio de Puerto Rico, Jose Miguel Argalote. I don't know. The approximate attendance is 2,500. Here are the results. The TNA X Division champion, Chris Sabin, defeated Christopher Daniels and Petey Williams to retain the title. Eric Young defeated Robert Roode. Abyss defeated Rhino in a Monsters Ball match. Here's an interesting tag team match. Apollo, our boy Apollo, the man who continually no-shows but then tries to get back into the company but then doesn't want to do jobs. Apollo teamed up with Jeff Jarrett to defeat James Storm and Scott Steiner. Samoa Joe defeated AJ Styles. The TNA World Tag Team Champions Team 3D defeated LAX. And in the main event, Kurt Angle defeated Christian Cage.
Yeah. So, I have a couple notes relating to the show in general, and then I'm going to hit you with something that I was kind of surprised to read. I'm not going to lie to you. So,
I will say that that's a pretty solid card for a house show.
I think that's a very solid house show card. Except I love the random placement of Apollo. I understand why they're using him
Yeah,
here,
Puerto Rico.
but it's just kind of funny that it's just like, here he is. So yeah, I also have the same attendance number that they did about 2,500 in Dave's write-up, but there's had about 2,000 paid, which Dave knows had to be a huge disappointment. Now, just so you also know, this Coliseum that they are in, WWE has been routinely selling out. Why can I not say this word?
Routinely.
Routinely. Jesus. It's early. My coffee hasn't kicked in. They've been selling out this to around 18,000 fans.
Whoa.
So this is a very large venue.
18,000.
Yeah.
And they got 2,500. Wow. Whoa.
Yeah. So this has to be a huge disappointment, right? And it looked really sparse, even in the upper decks curtained off, because they closed them off to make it
Yeah,
look
of
not as
course.
bad.
I mean, there's no way.
Right. Reports were as a house show, it was top notch, except for the main event, which I'm kind of surprised about.
What is he saying? The main event wasn't good?
Essentially, apparently there was lots of stalling and even boring chants much of the way. Although it did pick up in the last 5 minutes of the match, it said.
Yeah, of course it's going to pick up towards the end, yeah.
He notes that the show ended with Angle doing a promo thinking the fans were coming. The feeling from people who were there is that the show was much better than any WWE events for wrestling, but not for production. It's noted that Conan wasn't booked on the show. The story was that the advance was so poor, the local promoter wanted to cut corners, and it was either cut one of the women's booked or cut Conan. And well, he made his choice. Team 3D ended up working as heels, which was not the plan. It's noted that before the match, was laid out for 3D to work as faces, and Ray insisted on it as Homicide in the dressing room said he was Puerto Rican and the crowd was going to be behind him. Once they got out there, they had to switch because 3D were the most over faces on the show. When Ray saw what was going on, he started insulting the fans in Spanish, and the fans started throwing stuff at them. It was advertised as a tables match, but no tables were involved, and it was a straight match with a 3D finish. So the fans heavily booed the finish of that one.
Wait a minute. So they worked the match as heels, but they weren't supposed to?
Right. So they were very
the most over baby faces?
Yeah, and then Ray started switching it to insult him and stuff because I think since Homicide is Puerto Rican, the crowd was going to be into him. So they called an audible and was like, okay, we're going to switch it up.
They were the most over baby faces.
Until he started insulting them in Spanish.
No, I
and
get that.
Then they're throwing stuff at him.
I get that. But so what were they just the most over during their entrance then?
It must. I mean, it's got to be, right? It must have got a big pop when they came out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have thought they would have played the heels because LAX, LAX's baby faces seems to make sense to me in Puerto Rico.
Well, like it's noted, I mean, Ray apparently insisted on doing this, but that's okay. It worked out. Except the fans were really pissed at the finish, which, and it was supposed to be a tables match, and there was no tables, but...
Right.
Yeah, that's neither here nor there. Maybe that's a budget cut from the promoter again.
Well, tables can be expensive.
That's right. It's also noted that at the show, the host, Willie Urbina, announced that Ricky Banderas, a big favorite in Puerto Rico, would be headed to TNA. So, I mean, that's essentially confirmation. We've heard the rumors. I mean, they pretty much said, hey, he's coming. Dave also notes that another funny deal is a fan at ringside proposed to his girlfriend over the PA, and the whole place started chanting no, and she did say yes, so don't worry.
Oh, you're going to say she said no.
When I first read this, that's what I read, and I was like, hold on a second. She what?
Here's
only
the thing.
Only at a TNA show did that happen.
Yeah, there's two cringy things you can do. Number one is you can propose at any sporting event, like on the jumbo screen. Like that's really kind of like I don't know if a little tacky. But to do it at a wrestling show, maybe worse. Now I think I've witnessed it twice at a wrestling show. One time in
I have.
2CW and one time in Excite.
I was gonna say I also have. So yeah, that's it.
And both
And
times they said yes.
that okay. Correct me if I'm wrong, but doing it at like a small indie show might even be worse,
Oh yeah.
right? Like that's
Oh
even
yeah.
worse.
Oh yeah. No, that's bad. That's what I'm saying. Like I would never. I would never do that. And I mean, I'm a wrestling fan, whatever you want to call me.
Hmm.
But the thought of like, hey, I'm gonna propose to a girlfriend or something at a local independent wrestling show.
Right.
That's just not gonna happen.
Not for me, but hey. I mean, I don't
Absolutely.
know. If your partner really likes wrestling, I mean, then you're lucky. That's not always the case.
Yeah, but like the whole setup is usually pretty weird because I
Like, oh,
remember the one time at the Excite show, I think the guy was like on ring crew, and he came out, and they were like, "Ladies and gentlemen, we have a special announcement here." Blah blah blah, and we're like, "Oh, this guy
ugh,
has a message for whatever her name was,"
ugh,
and like, and you know it's gonna happen. Like this is like,
ugh.
guys, this is not. This is just bad. And then, oh, you mean the world to me. But will you marry me? And then, she says yes. And then it's just awkward. And then like, you gotta like leave the ring, and then you
And
sit
then
down in the
everyone's,
front
"What?"
row, and you're like watching the show for the rest of the night. And it's like, oh, you gotta engage at a wrestling show. It's like, I don't know.
Hey, listen,
It's a little
doing it
tough.
at the TNA house show in Puerto Rico. Damn, pretty good stuff.
You know what I would maybe what I would do. Let's say I had a long term girlfriend, right? And she was like pestering me about getting engaged or something. Maybe I would bring her to the wrestling show and like tease proposing, but then I'd like get in cahoots with like the booker, the promoter, and like have a heel attack me,
Ooh,
preventing me from proposing.
oh, and then that's
And I
like a
could
whole
be like,
story.
yeah. And I was like, this is how
You
I
you
was
can
gonna
work the
do it.
program. Yeah, you can work the program for like 6 months and then have a match with him, and then when you beat him, then you actually get the proposal done.
No, no, no. And then when I finally beat him, I can then be like, you know what? This this fight has made me realize I'm not in love with you and break up with her.
Oh my god. Okay,
So it'd
that's
be a double
definitely
swerve,
yeah, a double turn.
a double turn. It'd be I was a heel the whole time.
I like it.
It'd be like Test in like 2003, where he's like, "I love you, Stacy Keibler," and then he goes to a Girls Gone Wild event, and then Tori does Playboy, and he's just like, "Oh, Tori's hotter than you," so I'm gonna look at Tori's Playboy, you know. That's what I would do. I'd be like, I bet somebody hotter, and it would be like a female manager for the company, and I'd be like, "Come on out," and then be a
That's
heel.
wild.
Yeah,
That's wild.
storytelling, dude.
That's right. Okay, back to this house show.
Oh right.
Apollo ended up getting the pin for him and Jarrett on Storm after a guitar shot. After Jarrett hit a guitar shot. Now apparently Jarrett hit Storm hard with the guitar, and it didn't break on impact. So I don't know if it wasn't gimmicked right or what happened, but apparently that was pretty bad.
Whoa.
It's noted that Scott Steiner got incredible heat, and we're going to talk about him again in a moment. Hint, hint. Abyss was the babyface here because he was a big favorite in Puerto Rico before his TNA days, and Rhino understood, and he ended up working that match as a heel. And then there's obviously some other stuff like Young and Roode was more of a comedy match, but that makes sense. And big pop for Canadian Destroyer with Petey Williams, that kind of stuff.
Isn't
And,
Abyss a babyface anyway, though?
I mean that's fair, but he's probably wicked over in Puerto Rico. So
Well, I know that he's certainly worked there several times. Prior to this, I
right,
don't know if that's what you had just said, but
pretty much. I
yeah,
mean, essentially,
yeah. Well, because he's Dutch being
yeah.
Puerto Rico guy, so yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, Bob, I have bad news for you. So during that tag team match with Steiner and Storm versus Apollo and Jarrett, Scott Steiner got kicked in the throat by Apollo. and suffered a torn trachea and damage to his esophagus.
Oh no.
Yeah. So it's noted he was okay after the match, but at 2 a.m. After the show, he was having trouble catching his breath and started coughing up blood. He immediately recognized it was serious and was rushed to the hospital where he needed surgery. The surgery went well, but they are going back after he recovers, somewhat with a camera shot of his throat to make sure that they fix everything. He was not allowed to fly, so there was no choice but to have the surgery in Puerto Rico, and he has to stay there for at least several more days. At press time, which this is from June 11th, 2007, at press time, it was unknown how long he would have to remain in Puerto Rico and how long he would be out of action. But it'll apparently be several months, with early estimates perhaps being as long as 6 months. It's noted that Steiner's wife flew in on June 4th, so the day after. Jeremy Borash, Jeff Jarrett, and Abyss all stayed in Puerto Rico with him to be with him during surgery, although Jarrett had to fly home to Tennessee for a TV production and then fly to California for TV negotiations. We'll talk about that at a different time. Borash was still in Puerto Rico at press time. Dutch Mantel, who was there the night Bruiser Brody died, was adamant that people needed to stay with him during surgery. Now, of course...
Is he suggesting that Steiner could have been murdered?
Sort of. He does sound like that, doesn't it?
Yeah, but like, why would they want to murder Scott Steiner? What? That's like a certain level of like PTSD or like trauma.
I'm sure it is, right? Yeah, absolutely.
Like, oh, he's American, and they could just kill him. Like that's.
I mean, that could be kind of what he's getting at, but it's not directly said. Now, plans will be made this week regarding the Team 3D vs. Steiner's match at Slammiversary and how it will be handled.
All right.
Now, most likely, a sub will be brought in to team with Rick Steiner, but nothing has been decided. They also hadn't decided on how to handle it. Because of Steiner's character, there was a school of thought as to come up with a reason other than an injury, particularly because the feeling they announced a fairly serious injury, he automatically becomes a big-time face on his return. So they might try to cover that. Now, I do have a follow-up here from the June 13th.
I know what they could do, dude.
What's that?
They can just bring in the fake Scott Steiner from the first show in 2002 to be Scott Steiner.
You're damn right they could. I love that.
You know what I think they're going to do? I think if they bring in a replacement, this is where they should bring in Buff.
Honestly, that's not a bad idea.
He's buff and he's just tough.
That's right. He finally got a smile.
That's right. He's
Marcus. Bring back Marcus. And actually, this makes sense. This is full circle because we're going back to Nashville. That's the same place he lost.
Right. That's right.
I think that's a great idea. Yep. Now, a quick follow-up from the June 13th, 2007 Observer. Because some reason he posts random observers in between other ones, which drives me kind of crazy, but that's not the point. It's noted at press time that Scott Steiner was expected to remain in the intensive care unit of the hospital in San Juan for several more days. He awoke from surgery on June 6th and was in good spirits. It is a very serious operation, and he needs to be monitored in the events of an infection. We already noted about his wife and Jeremy Borash staying in Puerto Rico. Now, apparently they brought in top surgeons from around the island for both the surgery and recovery. There is no date on when he would be able to fly home. As last word, it could be a while. He will likely be out of action for at least a few months. So he's just chilling in Puerto Rico for the time being.
Yeah, well, there's no sense in rushing anything. Don't be like Conan and be like, hey, I'm going to be wrestling again in 6 weeks. It's like, don't do that.
Right. So we will see what happens there. But Bob, that is my final pre-show note. I have a couple other small things before the show. Yeah, we're pretty light this week and next week, which, this is what happens when you type. I mean, the episode we're watching is the second of 3 on a single day, so we're going to be a little bit light in general, but...
Okay, yeah. That makes sense. All right, well, then I guess it's time to get into it. The June 7th, 2007 edition of TNA iMPACT. The approximate runtime is 42 minutes and 19 seconds. If you want to watch along with us, head over to TNA Plus, or if you have it in your own personal collection, that will do the trick as well. I'm going to count down from 3. When I say play, that is when the live watch will begin. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, play.
We are wrestling. Last week, 2-man Samoa Joe Kurt Angle qualified for the King of the Mountain match at Slammiversary. It was going to be AJ Styles and Jeff Jarrett. Said Jeff Jarrett couldn't be here tonight. I'm going to make AJ Styles wrestle Tomko. Now, remember.
Yeah, because you know what? Joe qualified too. I forgot. He beat Sting.
That's right. And now Christian Cage wanted AJ to just kind of get a pass. And Cornette said, listen, I was going to give him a win by forfeit, but since you're kind of being a jerk, he's got to fight Tomko. Oh, shit, Bob. Chris Harris versus James Storm in a King of the Ring qualifying match tonight?
King of the Mountain, not King of the Ring. Wrong
King of the Mountain, buddy. Sorry. Wrong King of the... wow. That's a big one.
Now, here's the thing with this. I don't know if I would do this, because he just had a Texas Death Match, which was fantastic.
It really was.
I don't know if I'd go so quickly to just another regular match.
Well, and not only that, and now of course it was only reported, but in the Observer last week, they didn't even want to talk about how good the Texas Death Match was for the replay, for people buying the replay, because they said the feud's done. They had the blow off. There's no need.
Right.
Now, is this a match that kind of fell into place because of Jarrett needing to be out? Is this not a planned King of the Mountain qualifying match? I don't know, but Robert Roode's coming out here to kick us off.
It pays to be rude.
I want Bob to get a robe like that and just walk around.
I would rather not. I mean, it's grown on me. The Terry Taylor robe is grown on me for Robert Roode. I don't think I could pull it off.
Yes, Robert Roode versus Eric Young, June 17th at Slammiversary. If Young wins, he's free and clear of the contract from Robert Roode Inc.
I feel like, wasn't Roode being like super abusive towards Tracy, and now he's like not? Oh, there's SoCal Vale's thighs.
Well, here comes Jerry Lynn, his opponent.
Speaking of Jerry Lynn, he's the only guy on this show that has indie notes this week. So I'll just get his out of the way here. Back on May 18th, Jerry Lynn defeated Silas Young for MSPW in Diamond, Illinois. May 19th, Jerry Lynn won the AAW heavyweight title in a best 2 out of 3 falls match when he defeated Marique Brave at AAW's Defining Moment. And on May 20th, Jerry Lynn defeated Eric Cannon for first in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Nice. Bob, our referee is Earl Hebner, and I believe it or not, I have an Earl Hebner note. He missed the last taping, so not obviously the one we're watching because he's here, because his wife suffered a stroke. But here he is, he's back.
Yikes.
And I have another referee note that I don't know if I even realized, and I don't know if you have either, but we haven't seen a referee in a while, a certain one. If that rings any bells to you. Maybe a bald one who wears shorts. Well, that's because Slick Johnson has quit the promotion as he's taking a full-time job outside of wrestling.
Wow. I feel like I see him again, though.
I would not be surprised if that's the case.
I wonder what he did. Did he quit for like a full-time gig at Foot Locker or something?
That he has the outfit already for that. That'd be perfect.
Like he wouldn't even have to spend money on a uniform because he's got one.
I feel like it's always real estate. Oh, wait, look at this. TNA mobile question of the day. Who will face Christian Cage on Impact next week? Is it going to be Jeff Jarrett or Chris Jericho?
Oh my
or Scott
God.
Steiner or none of the above?
Okay,
Text
well,
A, B, C, or D to 76000. Standard text
this is
message
some kind
rates
of
to
joke. So
apply.
Jeff Jarrett's wife just died, so that's not happening. Chris Jericho, give me a break. That's not going to happen. Scott Steiner's throat exploded.
Well,
So I
listen.
think the answer is none of the above.
But listen. Jarrett went to Puerto Rico and wrestled post his wife's passing, so it's not really out of the question. Now, it is because we kind of already discussed that he's not at this taping, but
Yeah, he's not even. Yeah.
but that's not the point. Because technically, this taping is the day after. Keep that in mind. The Scott Steiner
right,
thing,
and then as a viewer, we wouldn't know probably any of this.
right? That's correct. And then Scott Steiner, the injury happened after this taping, so it could be Scott Steiner. It's not Chris Jericho.
Not Chris Jericho. Chris
I
Jericho,
love-
that's crazy.
I love how many times over the last year they've said Chris Jericho's name on air to tease the idea that he could come in,
Yeah, it's kind of.
and then using
I don't know.
his the Fozzy song a couple times in hype
Right.
videos and stuff.
Yep.
Jerry Lynn breaking out of the body lock, the bear hug that Roode had him. Tried to get him down with a clothesline, but Roode is not falling down too easy. That's two, and the big money man did not fall down. You like that? Oh, Papa Perkinrana.
Big money man.
Okay, Tanae, a little late on that one. Hit the Perkinrana perfectly. Well, we're doing a cover, and he kicks out. And nice drop kick by Lynn. Lynn is picking up the pace here, which Roode is not used to. He's used to doing headlocks.
Yeah, he's a much slower pace. 1, 2. Oh, kick out. I think Jerry should be the X Division champion. Put the title back on the old man.
Going for the cradle, but referee Earl Hebner is distracted by Tracy, and that was a low blow on Jerry Lynn by Roode. The payoff.
This is bull.
Wow. And he got the pin with the payoff.
Okay.
Ms. Brooks' timing is impeccable.
This is bull crap. I'm pissed.
Honestly, I'm pretty upset. Jerry Lynn was looking real good right there, as always. Oh shit, here comes Eric Young with a steel chair.
He's gonna waffle Jerry Lynn with it.
Yeah, right.
He'll be like, fuck you. I don't want my freedom.
Is he wearing a sweet Slammiversary shirt? He is. Oh shit, Roode just threw Tracy in the way in between him and Eric Young.
Well, now here's the thing. He doesn't like Tracy either. Okay.
No,
so there you go. He should just beat her up, I guess.
Thrown in the ring. And he's got the chair like he's going to whack Tracy in the head with it.
He's going to freaking hit her with it.
Oh, look at his face. Oh, Tracy tried to run and ran into Jerry Lynn.
What was that? What
Oh
was Jerry Lynn just done?
Oh, Cornette's on the mic. Do not make a move. Don't do it. There'd be no men beating up women in TNA, and I mean it. Well, he's yelling at Jerry Lynn and Eric Young, who's got his hands straight up in the air. He's thanking Cornette. He said, "You misunderstood me. I told them not to beat him up, but I didn't say you weren't getting beat up tonight."
What? Jim, what are we doing?
They're men. They're not going to touch you. But you got something coming? It's you one-on-one with Gail Kim. Tracy Gail Kim tonight.
I mean, I don't. Are these fans really that excited about that?
Well, yeah, they want to see Tracy get beat up, so I would say yes.
I mean, I don't know if I do. I mean, I would probably be. I guess I'd be cheering because I get to see Gail.
Right, so you can cheer for whatever reason you want, but take it, Letitia. She's walking backstage with Tomko. I'm not ironing anything out with a guy who changed his phone number. Uh-oh.
Oh,
Oh, he'll have no place to hide tonight. Still to come, Wildcat Chris Harris, the Tennessee Cowboy James Storm, King of the Mountain qualifying match. Up next, the Icon Sting. Oh, Daniel's talking about going to Sting for enlightenment. He sent me on the path I'm on now. I'm kind of confused by this storyline with Daniels and Sting.
I I don't know either. Does
Oh.
he think that Sting is some kind of like prophet or something
That could be that.
because
Well,
he's got a face paint? I don't understand.
well, he said he went to Sting for enlightenment, but he was dressing up like Sting as soon as he returned.
Yeah, but
So like,
the Sting character though doesn't have any type of like religious attachment to it.
well, you say that, but he kind of some of that stuff with Abyss had some little touches in it.
It did?
Well, yeah, going to the heavens and this and that, and
I guess I didn't really put the connection.
I mean, it was like,
I'm saying trailer trash AJ Styles. That's messed up, man. His childhood was rough.
dude, that was a very sad promo he did with Mike Tenay. Oh, earlier today, Mike Tenay interviewed Sting and Christopher Daniels in a dark
No, that's
room.
Steve. That's Steve
That is
Gordon.
Steve. Mike, I've invited both of you here on Fallen Angel's request. Floor is yours. Okay. See, 5 months ago when I lost the X Division title, I didn't know what my next step was going to be. I saw Sting, a man highly regarded in this entire industry. And he basically realized if it was anyone who was going to give him good advice, it was going to be Sting. He went to him for enlightenment and he gave it to him. He's saying everything he's told him he's put to use in the ring. Sting was like, well, last week I thought we covered a lot of ground, but everything we talked about, it's like deer in the headlights. I can tell why you're looking at me right now. So Sting's basically being like, you're doing the opposite of what I'm telling you.
Right.
As someone who's tried to be godlike, not just in words, but in deeds, I had to erase the gray area. It's got to be black or white. You're either with me or you're against me. Ideas of your actions and paying for your actions. Okay. Pains, vengeance, occurring wrath. All sorts of stuff. Sting says he understands consequences, pain, and stuff, but penance, like, what are you talking about? Those words never came out of my mouth. I'll tell you what penance is. After what you did to me last week, if that's not penance, I don't know what is. He's saying maybe we shouldn't talk about this on national television. This is important to me, and I'm going to make things right between you and me, I promise. Mike today's just here, like, looking at him like he's a fucking crazy. Mike, I wish I could believe him. Sting says, as we are now backstage with Gail Kim. Bob, what do you think about that? Did it help you? Did it
Well,
sell you
what
on...
I think about Gail, Gail is beautiful.
No.
Oh,
Well,
Tracy, come on. Don't.
Oh, she's throwing her over a couch against the
padded
wall.
couch. How dare she?
Those are very
Around
Nickelodeon-esque couches.
Yeah, they are. Those are the type of couches you see on all that.
Dude, literally. Hey! And they're pulling them apart.
Watch where you're putting your hands there, security guy.
Mate, this is funny because we've never seen that room before, and I feel like we always shot in like the same kind of areas, and randomly we're in this room that has Nickelodeon couches, walls, and lamps. It's kind of funny.
Regarding the Sting and Daniels thing, I don't know what the hell's going on with that. I mean, I get the penance thing, so like he's like forgiveness or whatever, because like I guess he thinks that they're even now because Sting beat the shit out of him. But I don't know.
Well, we're seeing Paparazzi Productions here. Jay Lethal talking with Kevin Nash. Kevin Nash goes, "You don't have Snake Roberts, you got Sabin." Oh, Sonjay Dutt. Said he's ready, are you? Oh, we got new gear?
What in the world is this?
It's not about these colors, it's about the colors of life. Remember, he did say he was going to find his inner peace. This is the new Sonjay Dutt. The old one is gone and buried. The guru, Sonjay Dutt. Next week. Oh, they're doing meditation with Kevin Nash. My God. So I actually have a note about this that is actually from our last week's Observer, June 4th. Dave says, Sonjay Dutt is doing a new gimmick. Basically, he's doing Gandhi, wearing clothes that Gandhi would wear, and he's doing backstage preaching nonviolence to Jay Lethal and Kevin Nash. They wanted him to wear a turban with a jewel in the middle and dress like a total stereotypical character. Apparently, he made a comment about maybe they should have him driving a cab as well. He nixed wearing the turban.
I'm glad he did not do that.
Yeah. So yes, so he had a little bit of a say
Frank
into that.
Wycheck, former Tennessee Titan.
Oh, this is a Slammiversary press conference. Jared's there. There's Jerry Lynn, the Cowboy.
James Storm is confronting Frank Wycheck. He's telling Frank to grow some balls to get in the ring with him. He spat beer on him. Oh no.
Look, they're showing it on the news though, so it clearly worked.
Okay, we get it. How many times are we going to see this beer?
Well, they're showing how many news stations it's on.
I know, I see that. All local TV.
Oh, shit. Did you just smash a guitar on James Storm?
He did.
Wow. I actually don't have a note about this at all. I'm surprised. Maybe on our next episode. I'm not sure. One of the press conferences for the wrestlers.
Wow. Okay, so Frank Wycheck is clearly doing something with James Storm.
I've never wanted anything more.
You don't even know who he is.
Okay, we're JB standing by with AJ Styles. He's congratulating him on his King of the Mountain qualifying match. Here's Kurt Angle. Hey, congrats, you're the lucky winner. Dude, Styles just went for the fist bump and the guy ignored it. It's so funny. Oh. Kurt just threatened him and said there's basically nothing you can do about it. Styles says he hasn't seen Christian in a week. I forgot my phone. Wait, why? Oh, he's gonna let JB use it. Oh shit. Christian's wearing sunglasses and a hoodie in that room and he just pulled Styles in.
He abducted him.
I feel like I'm warming up to this goofy AJ Styles character. I kind of like it.
I don't know.
I kind of like it.
I'm not really a fan of it because it doesn't. To me, it doesn't make any sense. He went from being like, and let's start from the very beginning. He was the cocky heel guy,
right?
2002 transitions to being like your fighting babyface champion, whatever, for a while, and then for a minute there, he was like the pissed off, like I grew up poor kid, and now he's just a goofy heel. I don't understand the transition.
I don't know. That's kind of like it.
I mean, is he funny? I guess, but I don't want AJ Styles to be funny. That's what Eric Young is for. Eric Young is your comedy, not AJ Styles.
All right. Here comes Gail Kim, and Tracy's already in the ring. She just made her entrance as well. So we're getting a knockouts match here. Referee Andrew Thomas.
Oh, I thought that brawl in the back was mean. We're not going to get this match.
That's a good point.
But here we are. Come on, Gail.
Well, here, Bob, during this one, this is a random note for you, but there was talk of getting new talent in Although with all the ROH talent now under contract, there's not a lot out there other than recent WWE cuts. And kind of playing off of that a little bit, if Rob Van Dam has been talked with, it's being very quiet, very hush-hush. Van Dam also hasn't been talked with, at least of the weekend, by Ring of Honor. And Dave says, I'm pretty much certain they'd be interested in him for a few dates if he's available at a decent price.
I mean, yeah. I mean, Van Dam would make sense for Ring of Honor at this point. I think that would definitely make sense.
Why do you think we already talked about this a little bit, right? He does not come in for a couple more years. Why do you think that is?
I think a lot of it probably has to do with burnout and WWE just kind of zapping him of his fire.
So do you think
I don't think he needs the money.
Wow. So you think it's even more on his part versus like TNA having interest part?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, because if
TNA were to be like, hey, we'll do this, that, and the other, I think they would definitely offer him something. I think he just doesn't want to do it.
Okay. Well, because it's interesting because like Team 3D, for example, were not on TV at all, right? But then they kind of grabbed him because of the ECW nostalgia stuff was starting up.
Sure.
So it's almost like they were right place, right time stuff. And now, I mean, if it's Rob Van Dam's choice, that's one thing. I'm just kind of surprised to hear that they're not like trying harder to go after him.
Well, I think that TNA would have gone after Team 3D regardless. Because I think that there's strong enough value probably in their name, no matter what, to
that's fair,
to bring them in. Just like how there's definitely enough for Van Dam. So I think really when he comes in, as we know, like 3 years later, I think the return on investment 3 years down the line is a lot less than what you would have got in 2007. In my opinion.
Tracy get a boot up on Gail. She ran toward her and now.
Because like the idea of in like 2007 or even 2008, let's say, of a Rob Van Dam against AJ Styles, I think that has a lot more interest than it would or did have in 2010.
Yeah, I agree with that. So. Gail and Tracy here are working pretty good together, pretty fast pace.
This is going a lot longer than I thought it would.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. Oh, Gail with a counter and cover Tracy for the pin. That's right, Gail wins. Haha, sucker.
Oh, Gail.
Tracy looks stunned. And here comes Robert Roode.
I thought that was Rhino for a second. I was like, what the hell is Rhino?
The Slammiversary shirt really threw me off here with Roode. And now props to... Oh, shit, he just put his hands on a referee.
Yeah, I was going after... Where's Cornette?
Oh, my God.
He better not hit her.
Well, Roode is instructing Tracy to hit essentially the Northern Lariat. The left arm clothesline.
Roode better not touch her because Cornette just said that there'll be no men hitting women.
Come on, where's Harris?
Or anybody. Petey. Where's Petey?
To be fair, Harris is getting ready for his match, I guess. He's flicking his sweat on her and now Tracy's raising Robert Roode's hand as if he just did anything.
We're going to get a Robert Roode versus Gail Kim match.
Tomko walking her backstage. Christian, where are you at?
He's in that room.
Oh, JB just exposed where he is.
What a snitch.
What a face.
What an absolute snitch.
That was awesome. Up next, will Christian Cage and Tomko collide? We're going to find out. But TNA Live here first, talking about our live events heading into Slammiversary. Well, here's another note for you, Bob. The scheduled video shoot for the Open of Slammiversary was scheduled for June 6th in Nashville, and the crew working on it and the 10 or so wrestlers involved were told on May 28th that it was canceled. The reason was Jeff Jarrett and Dixie Carter were having television meetings, although who it was with isn't clear. Jarrett has told wrestlers of late that he's more confident of getting a 2 hours on Spike, although they have been discussions with other parties since the contract expires in the fall. Team 3D cutting a little promo here. Oh, and here's the Steiners. This is Bully Ray running your mouth about all the Steiners, who they beat, what they've done, acting like me and my brother have done nothing in this business. Scott Steiner said, we revolutionized tag team wrestling and all this, and all that Team 3D has revolutionized was get the tables. Pretty funny. I'll tell you when to kiss our ass, and that's after Slammiversary when we tell you to pucker out. I like that. Emko is looking for Christian now. Someone's having a birthday. Oh, shit. Christian's behind him. Oh, shit. He grabbed the phone. Security!
Oh, it is actually Christian. I thought
Yeah.
it was going to be somebody else.
No, he spun around in the chair. Why'd you screw me? Why?
Why did you screw me?
If I really wanted to screw you, I would have blown you off years ago, huh?
True.
Backstage at a wrestling show, I saw you standing in a corner. You're a big guy.
He was working for OVW, Christian. Stop it.
He had a presence about him.
Fucking gay.
Oh, you're a prison guard?
Who would have bet? He was Abyss's prison guard.
Mm-hmm.
This is Nails and Big Boss Man all over again.
Yep. Took you under my wing, right?
I took you out of your state job that had great benefits to become a wrestler without a union, no benefits. I paid you. I helped you. You main evented Sunday Night Heat multiple weeks in a row against Jim Duggan. You wouldn't have gotten to do that without me. That's exactly what he's saying, folks. If you're not watching it, he's referencing his Sunday Night Heat run right now. Oh shit, he's making. Tomko's starting to be like, oh shit, you're right, Christian. You don't think, Tomko, that's my job to do for you. Wow, that's kind of mean.
I made you, don't you ever forget it.
He just called Tomko dumb. You're just a big, strong, dummy guy.
This is how you pay me? Worry about Christian Cage. Okay. I need to find out who my opponent is for the King of the Mountain qualifying match. Why do I keep saying
Chris
that?
Jericho.
It could be.
Chris Jericho, dude.
Text B.
Text B to TNA, whatever it was.
76000, and here comes Cowboy James Storm with the Pride of Tennessee, Miss Jackie Moore. This is the King of the Mountain qualifying match on today's episode. James Storm, Chris Harris. I got two more notes. I'm just going to spit out at you real quick. All Japan will be holding a junior heavyweight tournament on June 24th at Kirkland Hall until July 1st, and Chris Sabin will be there representing TNA. It's set as the X Division champion, but I suppose that depends if he retains it at Slammiversary. And also, if everything goes smoothly as far as tests with the donor, Conan will be getting his kidney transplant done the first week of July. So that is very good for Conan. And that is all my notes for today's show. As Chris Harris is heading into the ring to fight James Storm, although Storm is on the outside calling him over. It looks like we're about to start brawling ringside. Storm tosses Harris into the crowd. And I don't know if the bell actually just rung. I thought I might have heard it, but I might have misheard because now we're brawling throughout the crowd. Harris is slamming Storm up against the those walls that are constantly being broken. And that one just broke right there. So there you go. We know these two will do anything to win. So Mike Tenay saying, talking about James Storm blinding Harris for months with that beer bottle. But don't worry, Harris got his revenge at Sacrifice.
My Chris.
Well, James Storm is dragging him through the crowd now.
Don't let us down.
He just Irish whipped Storm into the rail. And into the wall, but no, countered, and Harris goes into the wall and goes through this other side. Right through the wood.
Look at the wall that's been broken every week for the past 3 years.
They're going through a lot of shit to fix those every week for people to smash through them.
I would stop it. Yeah, I would stop fixing it. True this.
Harris has just gotten into the ring. Oh shit! He's climbing.
Although
to
the
top
guy
rope.
that, or the people who fix it would have great job security because they know within 7 days this is going to be broken again.
That is true. Harris just jumped from the top rope into the crowd, taking out Harris and some security guards. Or sorry, to Storm and some security guards. Look at this. That's quite the jump.
Yeah, it is, and he's a
Big guy.
Big guy. Kind of reminds me of like when Mike Awesome would do that.
Yeah. It took a lot out of both men here as Harris is trying to maybe get in the ring. Just kidding. He's grabbing a chair from the crowd and he's on the ramp. Swung it at Storm,
God,
but
I
he
thought he was going
moved.
to hit a fan.
So did I.
Or that whoever that guy is standing right there. I thought he was going to hit him in the back of that.
Storm just got a chair from under the ring, sets it up, and now lays Harris's head on it. And then, shit. Storm just smashed Harris's head as it was laid into that chair. We're going to commercial, and we're back. Wild Impact main event here. Look at that counter. Boom. Harris slammed Storm against the guardrail as he went for like a baseball slide. Harris is busted open as we're back from commercial. If you're following along, by the way, we're at 33 minutes and 17 seconds. Oh, Storm's busted as well because he got smashed on the guardrail there.
Oh.
Somebody's going to get killed in this ring. We're seeing shades of that Sacrifice pay-per-view match.
Oh no. Storm's busted again.
We're both busted, dude.
And don't worry, I didn't see when he bladed. So don't worry about it. Okay.
Well, he got his face smashed up against the guardrail, so.
Yeah, but I didn't see him.
Hard way.
Slicey. Cut.
Harris going underneath the ring to grab a table.
They both got tables.
He's bleeding so much. Oh, they're both grabbing him, and they're both bleeding so much they're dripping blood all over the table.
He's dripping blood all over the table. Wait, is Harris bleeding too?
Yes, they're both bleeding. Harris was bleeding from the chair shot. Harris's table is also the leg broke. And now we're both throwing trash can lids into the ring. Holy crap.
Oh
Harris
my
is like
god, this is
really bloody.
ridiculous.
It's all over his chest and everything.
Man, oh man. Who would have thought that these two had a horrendous blindfold match?
Well, it's crazy. But I think that just shows you how limiting a freaking blindfold match is.
Oh no, yeah, it's definitely obviously the stipulation, yeah.
That match just should never have happened. I get what they were going for, but it shouldn't have happened.
Oh
We're
man.
trading
Now
trash
they're
can
gonna
lid
beat the
odds.
shit out of trash can lids. Oh,
Oh my god, dude. Brutal.
whacked. Do it again, great.
Storms are like
Great.
slapping Harris across the face.
Hmm.
Which of these men are going to qualify for the King of the Mountain?
1, 2, no. Storm kicking out at 2. Look at Harris. I'm bleeding so much, Rudy. Just count the 3.
This is awesome. Crowd is loving this match. As
No,
Harris.
I mean, this is. Wait a minute.
Oh.
This is not a no disqualification match.
Well, the referee's letting it go.
What are we doing? This is not another Texas Death Match.
You know, I think they're just letting it happen. You're right though, because I don't think they said it unless we missed it on
It was
commentary.
never announced as being like anything goes.
Oh, catapult. Harris right.
No.
Oh my god, right into that chair that was wedged in the corner. Great camera work on that one too. That was awesome.
That was a good camera shot.
Game Storm
Come on, we can't go to
frustrated.
commercial now. This is ridiculous.
Final commercial break.
And we're back.
Oh, and Storm skins the cat.
Yeah.
Harris whips the trash can at him as he's upside down. Uh-oh. Oh, he went for that spear off the apron through that table, but Storm was able to stop him with a trash can lid. Storm is laying Chris Harris over the table here.
One of the top rope.
Storm's going high risk. He's going to the top rope. Are you kidding? He doesn't do this.
What does he do?
Holy shit!
Oh.
Somersault through the table.
Does he do a swanton bomb?
Yeah, holy crap.
You know what? It's just a sign of desperation. You know, if you're doing stuff you don't normally do.
That's true.
Because you feel like you have to do it to win.
Oh. What is Kurt Angle and Samoa Joe and AJ Styles feeling after watching what these two are doing to qualify for the King of the Mountain? Oh, he got a beer. He got a beer from Jackie. Oh, Storm just whipped it at Harris, but he moved.
Glass bottle at.
Holy shit! Harris just speared Storm through the stage, the side of it.
God.
Wow. He was trying to throw that beer bottle at him again and did not work out.
They're lunatics.
Wait, Rudy Charles is talking to Penzer. We're allowed to see Penzer. This seems like WCW show now. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Wait. Okay, if neither get to the ring by the count of 10, then they will lose. They'll be counted out and lose. So it sounds like Rudy's trying to lay down the hammer. Okay, this is getting out of hand. You're getting to the count of 10 to get into this ring, or that's it.
They'll both be disqualified.
Yeah. I think Rudy is sick
They should
of
have
it.
been disqualified a long time ago with all these weapon
Yeah, but he's
shots.
reeling it in. He said, this is enough.
He's reeling it in after 15 minutes of violence?
Yeah, this is enough.
Wow. It's nice to see Rudy's got some
boy
boundary. Or what the fuck is Kurt doing?
He's eyeing who's his competition for King of the Mountain. Oh, there's Samoa Joe.
Okay, well, they ain't gonna get up. Samoa Joe doing this again.
Oh,
What?
Chris Harris and James Storm have officially both been
Oh!
counted out, and now Kurt just sucker punched Samoa Joe.
Joe just got rammed into the ring steps. Uppercut.
So Jim Cornette
Another
has a
one.
problem. No one's advancing. I will cripple you, Samoa Joe. That's what Kurt Angle said. And now he's fighting him right now. Oh, Joe countered and then smashed his Angle's head against those steel steps. Oh, there's still a table here. Oh, he's throwing Kurt into the ring instead. The crowd is getting fired up, and here comes security to stop it. What chaos. Oh shit, Styles. He just went to slam Kurt from behind, but he was able to counter that. Was it a pipe? Ankle lock applied to Styles. Samoa Joe's being held back by security. Oh. Cornette is backstage. They've been fighting for 10 minutes. You want me to make a decision? Christian just ran in here. Listen, I don't care. Jim, next week, King of the Mountain, qualifying match. I demand to know who my opponent is. He wants to know right now. Chris said, "There's no problem. You got an easy match. It's someone you think is beneath you. So don't worry." So we're still not going to know who Christian is fighting next week. Wow. Okay, and then we're heading to our Adrenaline Rush video package.
Okay, so basically what I'm learning is that I think we're going to have a mystery
Correct.
a mystery entrant for King of the Mountain.
Oh, in general, you think?
In general, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I think that whoever Christian wrestles next week, they'll have that qualifier. But it's usually 5 guys. So
Yes.
whoever the 5th guy is going to be probably like a new signing or something, where it's like, oh hey, Chris Jericho, but you know what I mean, like somebody.
Chris Jericho, Brock Lesnar,
Right?
Jeff Jarrett returning.
I mean, if there were recent WWE releases,
Rob Van Dam.
well, we know that's not the case because we've talked about that.
Well, that's
But
true.
if there was, if like a recent WWE mid-carder was fired or something, like that would probably fit.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Well, Bob, how are you feeling about that episode? Just 2 weeks out from Slammiversary.
That was I'd say pretty decent.
I thought it was pretty good. I really enjoyed it. That main event match was a lot of fun. I think Tracy and Gail Kim had a fun match, and I think Jerry Lynn carried Robert Roode to one of his best Impact matches we've seen in a while. So, especially in-ring wise, that's a big thumbs up for me, brother. And I'm definitely getting excited about Slammiversary. Now, as you just saw, we are still advertising the Steiners versus Team 3D. We'll find out what happens. I don't know. I don't know if next week we'll address it or if we won't address it.
I don't know if they would. I mean, these tapings are before the injury.
It depends if they do more in-ring stuff. If they do more in-ring stuff, I'd be surprised if they cut it. If it's just like a little highlight package like they just did, we could cut it and kind of work something around it if we needed to.
Yeah.
But I'd also be kind of surprised. But you never know. I feel like we've done this before, and then we get to the pay-per-view, and then they just tell us on the pre-show, and we miss it, and then we're confused. But that's okay. That happens.
That's funny.
Well, I'm feeling good. I'm very excited to watch the go home episode for Slammiversary on our next week, and that's it. One more before the big show, the big 5-year anniversary show.
Yeah. Okay. So we have the go home show next week. A lot of questions to be answered. Who will qualify for King of the Mountain? What are they going to do with the Steiner brothers? Are they going to be on the show next week? Who knows? I don't know. Jim Cornette has maybe a town hall to do again. That'd be swell. All right. There's only one way to see what exactly is going to happen for Slammiversary, and that's if you continue on with us here. So be here next week for the go home show before Slammiversary. So until then, for Dallas Gridley, I am Bob Colling Jr., and this has been the TNA Across the Line podcast.
Damn